All right. So yesterday we saw a couple of not couple but many topics. Right. We saw multiple different topics in vector algebra. Right. We saw how to calculate the distance between 2 points. We saw how to calculate the distance between origin and the point. We saw that is nothing but the length of the vector. Right. And we have also seen how to basically define a point as a vector. Right. Unit vector. Yes. We have also seen dot product, as well as we have also seen something called as projection of a vector on another vector. Right, we have covered all these topics. Right, so if I ask you one thing today, right, so let's say if I have two vectors, let's call that vector as a and vector as b. Right, so a vector is nothing but a1, a2, a3. B vector is nothing but b1, b2, b3. Right, so if we have these two vectors, what will be the dot product of these two vectors? How do you calculate the dot product between these two vectors? Yes, correct. Yes, we can, right? So we have to simply say a1 into b1 plus a2 into b2, right? Plus a3 into b3, right? And we have already seen that this thing can be written like this, right? Summation of ai, bi, I going from 1 to n, right? And this can also be written as A transpose. You just take the vector A, consider it as a matrix, right? Take the transpose of it and then multiply it with B, right? Just do a matrix multiplication between these two vectors, matrix, right? And we have also seen that this can again be written as A vector ka length into B vector ka length, right? Into cos theta, right? Where theta is the angle between A vector and B vector. All of you remember these three formulas? I hope everyone remembers all these three formulas from yesterday. All right, so let's try to maybe build on top of these things, whatever we have learned yesterday, and let's try to talk about one new topic today, and then we'll try to start with the machine learning wala part. Okay, so anyone who knows what is the equation of a line? What is the equation of a line? Everyone knows it. Y equal to mx plus c. Now let me try to draw that. Okay, let me try to draw that. Maybe let's say this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. So let's say this is the y, so y equal to mx plus c wala line. Okay, the pink line. Okay, so it is nothing but y equal to mx plus c. Now can anyone tell me what is this m here? What is the meaning of this m here? Yes, it is the slope, right? Now, how do you calculate the slope? How do you calculate the slope? It is nothing but tan of, right? It is nothing but tan of theta. And what is that theta? Theta is nothing but the angle between line and the x-axis, right? It is nothing but tan of this angle between x and the line, between x and the line, right? Similarly, what is C? What is C? C is called as the, anyone? No, it is not constant. So it is a constant, but what do we call it? Yes, it is an intercept. It is called as an intercept. What intercept? This value. Wherever this line is going to cut the y-axis, this is nothing but your C, right? M is nothing but your tan of theta. Is this clear to everyone? Everyone is able to understand this part, right? Now, let me try to write the equation of a line in some other way. Okay, let me try to write the general equation of a line. General equation of a line. How do I write that? In order to write this, I simply say ax plus by plus c equal to 0, right? We have x-axis, we have y-axis. Right, now what I can do is, in order to bring this equation in this form of y equal to mx plus c, what I can do, I can simply say by equal to minus ax minus cx, sorry, minus c, right? And finally we can remove this b from here on the left hand side, and we can put it on the right hand side by just putting it in the denominator for both ax and c. Is this clear to everyone? Now, if you try to compare this equation with mx plus c, can you tell me what is m in this equation and what is c in this equation? When you try to compare it with mx plus c, what is c and m in this equation? All right, so m is nothing but minus a by b, c is nothing but minus c by b, right? M from y equal to mx plus c is nothing but minus a by b, c from y equal to mx plus c is nothing but minus c by b in this equation. Is it clear to everyone now? Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Cool. Perfect. Now I have a question. Okay, I have a question. So how many dimensional is this line? How many dimensions do you see in this line? Two, correct? So we have x-axis and we have y-axis. It is two-dimensional, right? So let me write it as this. It is a two-dimensional line, right? It is a two-dimensional line, y equal to mx plus c. Now, what is the equation of a three-dimensional line? So will we call it a three-dimensional line or something else? We will call it as a plane, right? Making sense to everyone? We will call a line in three dimension as a plane. Now, anyone, can you tell me what is the equation of a plane in the three dimension? Plane is a three-dimensional thing, right? So what is the equation of a plane? See, this is the beauty of linear algebra and vector algebra. Okay, you remember the general equation of a line? We have already seen this. Yes, Dheeraj, correct, right? So what we can do is we can simply write it like this. Ax, right? We have three dimensions now. We need three dimensions. Ax plus by plus cz plus d equal to 0. Now, how do I replace this entire? How do I write it in that form? I can write it as this by equal to minus ax minus cz minus d. And now we can bring this b on the right hand side by just putting it in the denominator. Right? This is the equation of a 3D plane. This is the equation of a 3D plane. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? All right. Now let's try to see one thing. Okay, what will happen in four dimensions? Can a line exist in four dimensions? The question is that. Can a line exist in four dimensions? If it exists in four dimension, what do we call it? See, in three dimension, we call it a plane, right? In four dimension, it is called as a hyperplane. Okay, we can't visualize it. Okay, we can't visualize it. But the thing is, we can write the mathematical formulas. How do I write the mathematical formula? I simply say ax plus by plus cz. Now, what should I say here? Maybe dw, right? Plus e equal to 0. Is it clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Right now, you can simply write it in this format, right? Minus ax minus cz minus dw minus e and divided by b all over this right hand side, right? This is the equation of a four-dimensional hyperplane. How many are able to understand this part? See, you just need to know y equal to mx plus c, and from y equal to mx plus c, you need to know that there exists this general equation of a two-dimensional plane, two-dimensional line, and from that you can bring up all the equations. Okay, you can just generate all the equations, whatever you want. Everyone able to understand this? Yes or no? Cool. Now the biggest part. Okay, the biggest part. Do you observe that when we were trying to come from 3D to 4D, writing these x's became tricky, right? We didn't knew, so we have consumed x, y, and z axes. We consumed all the x, y, z. Now we didn't knew what to write here, w, right? We can write here e, f, g, h, anything, right? But is there any general equation which will basically define all the things? And the answer is yes. Instead of the x, y, z, w, what we generally write is, instead of x, y, z, and all these x's, we simply denote all the x's with this term called as w. We call x as w1, we call y as w2, we call z as w3. So the fourth dimension as w4, and so on, and so on. We just say something like this, right? Is it making sense? Oh, okay. I think I messed up this part. Just a second, just a second. So what we basically do is, generally we want see the general equation of a line in four dimension or any dimension. So x, y, z, and these terms, right? So these terms are written by these values: x1, x2, x3, x4, right? Not w's, right? W are written instead of these: a, b, c, d, e, right? So these are the constants, right? Instead of these, we write w. So we'll write w1 here, w2 here, w3 here, w4 here, and the final thing will simply write yes, 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 correct weights, right? So, and final thing will write W naught, right? Now, can anyone tell me something similar to this? Can anyone tell me what is the equation of a two-dimensional line in this format? In this format, what will be the equation of a line in 2 dimensions? We were having ax plus by plus cz, right? Ax plus by plus c, not cz, plus c equal to 0. How do I write the equation in this format? First of all, how do I replace x and y? I replace them with x1 and x2, right? How do I replace a, b, and c? I replace them with w1, w2, correct Damini, w2, and then w0. Is it clear to everyone now? Is it clear to everyone that this is nothing but the equation, general equation of a line or of a plane, right? Now, similarly, how do I write the equation? So it is a two-dimensional equation. Now there is no worries, right? So you can even write 10-dimensional equation. You can even write 10-dimensional equation, which is nothing but w1x1 plus w2x2 plus w3x3 plus so on up to w10x10, right? 10 dimensions, right? x1 to x10, and then finally w0 equal to 0. Right? We have generalized this entire equation so that it is easy for us to write. Everyone able to understand this? Cool. Now, let me try to show you one interesting magical trick here, okay? So let's try to write the 5-dimensional equation of a line. 5D equation of a line, let's try to write it. So what will it be equal to? W1x1, right? X1 axis, X2 axis, so W2x2, X3 axis, W3x3, fourth axis W4x4, fifth axis W5x5, and then a constant, and then this equal to 0. Are you all able to understand this equation? If yes, then we'll try to understand one magical, we'll see it, one magical thing here. Now, do you remember that we have already seen something like this earlier? If yes, what? If you can remember what we have already seen, is there something like this that we have already seen? Yes, Avanish. So it is a dot product, right? It is a dot product. So can I write the equation of a line or a plane or a hyperplane? 5-dimensional means hyperplane. Anything beyond 3 dimension is called as hyperplane. Can I write any equation of a hyperplane, right, as this summation of wi xi, right, plus w naught equal to 0, where this I is going to go from 1 to number of dimension d. Making sense to everyone? This can we write it like this? Yes, if we can write it like this, can we also write it like this? W transpose x plus w naught equal to 0. The same thing, right? It is again the equation of that equation dot product wala, right? So this is how actually the equation of a line or a plane or a hyperplane is represented. And we represent a plane or a line with this pi, right? We say that this pi is nothing but a d-dimensional pi. Is it clear? Anyone who is having any difficulty understanding this concept, just let me know. I'll try to maybe go back and try to maybe revise this thing. Anyone who wants me to repeat this thing? Okay, so last line. So the last line is nothing but, see, we have this thing, right? This thing is nothing but w vector dot x vector, right? And we know that this can also be written as w transpose x, right? We have already seen this. We have already seen that there is this equation also, right? So from this equation, I'm just writing this, right? We already know that w dot x is equal to sum of wi xi, I going from 1 to d, right? We also know that w vector dot x vector is also equal to length of w, length of x, and then cos theta, right? We already know these equations, so I'm just using this equation to write this thing. Making sense now? Cool. Cool. Now let's look into the next thing. Let's look into the next topic for today. Okay. So whenever we talk about a line, okay, so let's say this is a line, maybe this is a line, right? So what we'll always have is, see, can I write the equation of this line like this? W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W0 equal to 0. Is it the correct equation of a line? Is it the correct equation for this line? The reason why, can you please give me a reason why this is a correct equation? Because we know that this is having an exactly 2 dimensions. Yes, correct, Avanish, right? This equation is having, this line is having exactly 2 dimensions, right? So we can say that this is nothing but the correct equation. Now, do you try to understand one more thing here, okay? Try to understand one very important, very important thing here. And that thing is, what is this W, right? This W can be represented like this, right? It is nothing but the normal to the plane, right? It is nothing but the normal to the plane, right? We call W as a normal to the plane, right? Which normal simply means it is going to be 90, it is going to form a 90-degree angle with the plane. Yes, correct, Kunda, right? And what is the role of this W? This W basically helps us understand in which direction W tells us in which direction the plane is facing. The plane or a line is facing, right? Now, can you tell me, is this point, where is this point? Is it in the front side of the plane or in the back side, on the back side of the plane? Can anyone tell me? Is it on the front side or the back side? Given that W is telling us in which direction the plane is facing, where is this point? Is it in the front or the back side? It is in the front, right? It is in the front. Similarly, when we talk about this point, where is it? It is on the front, it is on the back side of the plane, right? Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone what is the front side of the plane and what is the back side of the plane? Okay. Okay, I will explain again. Okay, so let's try to see this. So let's say I have a line like this, right? And I know the equation of this line, W1, because I have a line, right? So I will know the equation of the line. Let's say I represent this equation like this: W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W0 equal to 0. So the W is always going to be a normal, right? A normal to the plane, right? So this W is always going to be the normal to the plane. Let me call it as W, right? So it is always going to be normal to the plane. And now W's role is just to tell in which direction the plane is facing. Okay, normally what happens is we'll try to understand where the plane is facing just by looking at this W, right? So W is facing in this direction, right? W is facing in this direction. Everything on this side is called as the back side of the plane. Everything on the pink side is called as the front side of the plane. Now, is it making sense? Is it making sense? Is it clear to everyone? Cool. Now, let's try to understand the another concept now. Okay. Now we'll try to go into machine learning. Okay, given that you understood all these things, we'll now try to go into machine learning. Okay. Now, in machine learning, what do I actually mean by this term machine learning? If I can learn from the data, if I can make my machine, right? If I can make my machine learn from the data, right? So that in future, I don't need to explicitly program the machine to do some task. Okay, I will make my machine, if I have some data available, I will try to make my machine learn from the data instead of explicitly programming or coding the entire thing. Okay, do you remember last time when we started machine learning, we saw one program? Remember that? We saw one program, right? Where we were having the heights, weights, and genders, right? Now, what we were trying to do in this entire data, we tried to basically guess the gender later on. Now, what we can do is we can either explicitly code the entire thing. We can either explicitly code the entire thing. How do I code the entire thing? I can explicitly code the entire thing using if-else conditions, right? Or I can using the data in hand, I can make my machine learn from the data. Machine learn from the data available, right? I can use this entire data. I can make the machine, whatever I have, to learn from the data. That is what we'll try to learn today, Sandeep. Okay, so we'll try to see how we can make the machine learn from the data, whatever we have, instead of explicitly programming the entire thing, right? Using if else conditions, we'll try to see how machines can learn from the data just by using something called as linear algebra or vector algebra vector algebra. Okay, we'll learn how to do that. Is that fine with everyone? Now, whenever we talk about machine learning, okay, whenever we talk about machine learning, right, there are a couple of things that comes up. Okay, so first thing that comes up is called as supervised learning. Supervised learning, supervised learning or supervised machine learning algorithms, right? Another thing is called as unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning. Is it clear to everyone that there is something called as supervised learning and there is something called as unsupervised learning? What do you mean by supervised learning? It all depends on the data. Always remember that it all depends on the data. If you want to understand if you are doing supervised learning or unsupervised learning, just try to go to the data and try to see whether it is a supervised or unsupervised. Just go to the data, whatever problem you want to solve, just go back to the data and try to see, for example, let's say you want to predict the gender and this is the data given to you, right? This is the data given to you. Just try to see whether the gender column is given to you or not. If the gender column is given to you, do you see that this is nothing but supervised, right? It is nothing but supervised, right? You are given this X, you are given this example, and with this example, you are given what is the gender associated with it. You are given the next row, and with the next row, you are given the gender with it. You are given the third row, you are given the gender with it. You are given the fourth row, you are given the gender with it, right? In future, what you need to do is, right, you will be given again height and weight. You need to predict what is the gender, right? So you will learn on this data, right? You will learn on this data. You will see what kind of heights and weights are going to correspond to what gender. This is something that your machines are going to learn, right? So do you see that in this data, the output thing, the predicted thing, the thing that you need to predict in the future, it is already given to you. Is it making sense? The thing that you need to predict in the future, it is already given to you. So we call this thing as the unsupervised learning, right? And generally it is called as supervised learning. Okay, and generally supervised learning is classified into two kind of algorithms. One is called as regression algorithms, regression algorithms, right? Other one is called as classification algorithms. Now, on which data are we going to perform classification algorithm, and on which data we are going to perform regression algorithm? Let's try to understand that now. Whenever you are asked whether to go with classification algorithm or to go with regression algorithm, just look into the data again. Just look into the data again and try to see what is the output column. What is the column that you need to predict in the future, right? In the future, what is the column you need to predict? Just look into that column and try to see whether that column is a categorical column, or is it a numerical column? Is it a numerical real number, numerical or real numbered column, real valued column, right? So in this case of gender, is it a categorical or a real number? Is it a real valued or a categorical? It is categorical, right? It is categorical. You only have two categories. You have male, right? You have male and you have female, right? Only two categories, or three categories, right? Male, female, others, right? So you have categories here, right? You have categories here. You have countable finite data points or countable finite categories here. So you will call it as classification. You will call some classification algorithm here. Classification algorithm. You will use something called as a classification algorithm here. In case of numerical real numbered, real valued column, you will use something called as regression algorithm. Regression algorithm. Is it making sense now? Is it making sense to everyone? So may I ask one or two questions from each and every one of you? Okay, so let me ask one question. Okay, you guys tell me whether to go with supervised or unsupervised, and if you are going with supervised, what kind of algorithm will you use? Will you use classification algorithm or will you use regression algorithm on the data? Right? Given, just try to see the question first. Given 1000 data points, 1000 data points with 4 features, right? 1000 data points means how many rows? How many rows and how many columns? If I say 1000 data points with 4 features, how many rows and how many columns? Okay, 1000 rows and 4 columns, correct, right? So the data will look something like this. Data will look something like this. Row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Similarly, you will have row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on up to 1000th row, right? You will have 1000 different data points and 4 different features. Now, what else is given to you? Given that 1000 different data points and 4 different features plus the rows, the columns that are given to you, the 4 features that are given to you, are nothing but maybe temperature for the day. It also contains humidity for the day, humidity. It also contains windy, right? Wind information, which can either be yes or no, right? It is also given that what is the basically maybe let's say what should we keep? Maybe let's keep the let's keep weather here. Okay, let's keep weather here, right? So these are the 4 columns given to you, right? These are the 4 columns given to you. The first column is nothing but, let me try to write it here. The first column is given to you, which is nothing but temperature, right? The second column given to you is nothing but humidity, right? The third column that is given to you, no, we can't say anything right now. Okay, the third column given to you is windy, right? The fourth column given to you is weather, right? Now let me try to also explain you what is all these columns. So temperature is going to be a numerical column, humidity is going to be again numerical column, right? It is going to be a categorical column, right? Because it can either be yes or no. Yes, it is windy, no, it is not windy. And in weather, what is the kind of column it is? It is going to have maybe let's say sunny, rainy, right? Or maybe let's say so sunny, rainy, cloudy. Let's say these are the 3 different categories in this. So let's say this is a categorical column. Now my requirement is to, right? My requirement is to, given this entire data, in future I will get some data, right? I will get some data which will contain temperature, which will contain humidity, and which will contain windy, right? I have to guess what is the weather. Now can you tell me what kind of algorithm should I use on this data? Yes, correct, Shweta. Correct. Correct, Avanish. Correct, Deepa. Yes. First of all, is it a supervised or unsupervised? It is supervised, right? It is supervised. This is something that you are interested in, right? This is something that you are trying to predict in the future, right? This is the column that you are trying to predict in the future. And in the training data, you are given this data, right? You are given with this weather information. Now, since you are given with this entire information, right? Since you are given with this information, you would say that it is nothing but supervised. You are going to use some supervised learning algorithm. And in that supervised learning algorithm, which kind of algorithm will you use? Since it is a categorical column, you will use classification. Now, let me try to twist the problem. Okay, let me try to twist the problem just by saying that, instead of predicting the weather, now let's say I want to predict the temperature. Let's say I want to predict the temperature. So what kind of algorithm will I use? Yes, supervised learning regression algorithm. Correct. I'm going to use supervised learning and the regression algorithm in supervised learning. Right? So the data that will be given to me in future, in this case, would be maybe let's say humidity, windy, and weather, right? These will be given to me. These things will be given to me. I need to predict temperature, right? So it is nothing but regression, because the temperature column is given to be a continuous variable, a numerical continuous variable, right? Which can contain any value between maybe let's say 10 to 40 degrees Celsius. It can be 10.2, 10.5, 10.30, anything, right? How many are able to understand this concept of supervised learning, unsupervised learning, classification, and regression? Everyone is able to understand this? Cool. Now let's try to understand what is a unsupervised learning, right? What is unsupervised learning? Let's also understand that. In unsupervised learning, what is going to happen is, right? Let's first try to understand supervised learning from another perspective. Again, supervised learning, okay? Supervised learning. Let's try to understand that again. Let's say you have some photos. Let's say you have some photos, and photo is nothing but the input, okay? The photo given to you is nothing but the input. Let's say the first photo that is given to you looks like this. Second photo given to you looks like this. Third photo given to you looks like this. Right? The fourth photo given to you. Yes, I'm talking about supervised learning example here, okay? The fourth photo given to you looks like maybe let's say this. Right? Now, along with the photos, you are also given with some labels. Okay, you are also given with some labels. Let's say this label here is dog, label here is cat, label here is dog, label here is cat again. Okay, now in future, what you have to do is, in future, given any photo, it can contain anything. You have to predict whether it is a dog or a cat. You have to predict whether it is a dog or a cat. What kind of problem do you see? What kind of problem do you see? Is it a supervised or unsupervised? It is supervised, first of all, right? Because you are given with the information. Along with that, you are also given with the label that you need to predict in the future. And do you see that the label is here? The label here given to you is nothing but categorical, right? It is categorical, right? Categorical, right? And what kind of categories are there? There is something called as dog, and there is something called as a cat. Two categories only, right? So this thing that you need to predict in the future, right? This thing that you need to predict in the future, it is going to be a so you can solve this problem using something called as classification problem, right? In supervised, you have something called as classification algorithms. Is the concept of classification algorithms and supervised learning clear to everyone? All right, now let's try to change the problem. Okay, yes, we'll try to predict the feature. We'll try to predict a column, right? Whenever we talk about machine learning, we'll try to predict something, right? So we'll try to predict maybe a column or maybe something, right? So that is something we'll do. Now, try to see this, okay? Try to see this. Given this data, let's say you are an alien, okay? Let's say you are an alien from some other planet. You have never seen a cat, you have never seen a dog, right? You have never seen a cat, you have never seen a dog. I give you this data, right? I give you this data, and in future I also give you one more data point. Let me try to draw that data point here. Let's say that data point looks like this. Now, what can you do about this data? What can you do about this data? First of all, is it a supervised learning? Is it a supervised learning? Yes or no? Yes, Pravalika. No, right? It is not a supervised learning. The reason we are only given with this data, right? We are only given with this data. There are no labels associated with it, right? And in future, we need to again look at the data, and we need to basically tell what is that data point, right? Now, do you see that in this data, what you can do? Let's say you are an alien. Let's say you are an alien from some other planet. So what you can do? Alien from some other planet, right? So in that case, what you can do is you can simply see that, right? At least you can simply see that this photo and this photo looks very similar to each other, right? So what I can do is I can group them together, right? You can put it like a card, right? You can keep it like a collection of cards, right? You can group them together. You can create a group 1 and you can similarly create a group 2. Group 2. Yes or no? Is it something you can do? You can simply look at all the images and you can create two different stacks or two different groups. Yes or no? Right? And in future, what you can do is you can assign this data point, whatever is coming in the future. Now, where should I put it? Should I put it in the group number 1 or group number 2? Where should I put it? Group number 1, right? We should put it in the group number 1, right? This group belongs to this data point and this data point. Everyone is able to understand this, yes or no? Right? So this thing, try to understand what we just did. We did something called as C. What we are doing, we are taking all the similar data and we are grouping them, we are piling them up, right? Again, we are taking these data points which look similar, we are piling them up again, right? This is called as there is something called as clustering, right? We are doing something called as clustering here. Clustering, right? So there are some clustering algorithms in machine learning. Is it clear to everyone now? So there are these three kind of algorithms that you will be learning. Whenever you take a machine learning course anywhere, most of the time you will be learning these three kinds of algorithm. Either it can be a regression algorithm, or it can be a classification algorithm, or it can be a clustering algorithm. Right? There are other algorithms also, like there is something called as dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction algorithms. Right? So let me also put it here. So it is another kind of unsupervised learning algorithm. Right? So let me try to now name a couple of algorithms so that you all have some idea. Okay. So we have learned that machine learning contains something called as supervised, right? There is something called as unsupervised. We'll come to that, Shweta. Supervised. Okay, we'll come to that. So in supervised learning, we have something called as regression algorithms. Okay, we have something called as classification algorithms. In unsupervised, we have something called as clustering. And we also have something called as dimensionality reduction. Okay, so Sandeep, clustering simply means grouping or piling up similar data points together. Okay, so it is nothing but clustering or piling up or grouping up similar data points. Okay, that is called as clustering. Making sense, Sandeep? See, if you don't have any label associated with any data point, then you can only look at the data point and you can basically pile up all the similar data points together, right? Yes, correct. So that is what is called as Shubham, you are correct. Yes, Samir. Yes, no worries. Okay, just try to do that. Okay, so in regression, we have some algorithms. Okay, let me take some name of the algorithms. There is something called as linear regression. There is an algorithm called as linear regression. In classification, there is an algorithm called as logistic regression. Right? So we won't be talking about that, Dheeraj, in the session. Okay, so it can be any kind of data, right? So Shweta, so it can be image data, it can be audio data, it can be video data, it can be any kind of data, it can be text data, it can be data like an Excel sheet wala data, it can be any kind of data. Okay, when you learn machine learning, you would know how to handle that data, right? Given any video data or image data or maybe text data, how to handle that. There are multiple different techniques to handle the data. Yes, it has already been shared, Samir. So let me share it again. Okay. Cool. Similarly, in clustering algorithm, there is one very popular algorithm called as k-means, right? In dimensional reduction, there is something called as PCA, right? Similarly, there are many algorithms, many algorithms here, many algorithms here, and many algorithms here, right? In whenever we talk about machine learning, always we are either going to do some algorithm regression task, or we can do some classification task, or we will use something, we'll do something called as clustering task, or we'll do something called as a dimensionality reduction task. Whenever we talk about any of these things, whenever we talk about machine learning, we will be doing any of these tasks. Is it making sense to everyone now? Some of these comes under statistics. Yes, Ashwini. All right. Now let's try to understand a couple of things. PCA is principal component analysis. PCA full form is principal component analysis. Okay. So see, guys, if you ask me what these algorithms does, right? It is in itself. It is at least 1 month's course, right? It is at least 1 month ka course, right? So let's not worry about all the algorithms. Let's only focus on couple of things so that we at least learn something, right? So that you know what actually happens internally in one of these tasks. Maybe we'll try to maybe talk about this task, because later on what we need to do you remember? Dimension means number of columns. If you can reduce the number of columns in the data, then it will be called as dimensionality reduction without even throwing the information. If you can reduce the number of columns, then it is called as dimensionality reduction. Sandeep, okay? Now see, do you remember what was the task we need to perform? Can anyone give me that? I think we have already discussed what kind of algorithm, what kind of thing we need to solve in this session, right? Everyone agreed to something called a sentiment classification, right? Sentiment classification or sentiment analysis. Remember that? Sentiment analysis. Now, what was the task? What was the task? The task was, given any review, right? Given any review 1, review 2, you will be given, along with the review, you will be given some sentiment. It can be a positive sentiment, it can be a negative sentiment, a positive sentiment, a negative sentiment, a positive sentiment, and so on, right? In future, what we have to do, we have to do something like this. In future, if somebody gives me some review X, I should be able to tell what is the sentiment behind that review. I should make my machine understand the sentiments behind some natural language text, some natural language. I should be able to make my machine understand this natural language, and the machine should be able to tell whether the sentiment behind this text is positive or negative. Everyone understood this thing? If you have understood this thing, can you please tell me what kind of task do you see? This is the label we are trying to predict, right? This is the label we are trying to predict. What kind of task is it? Try to think of it. Classification, right? It is a supervised learning. First of all, the reason we are given with the label, right? And the next thing, see how many categories do you see in this column? How many categories are there? 2 category, correct? Right? So we have positive and negative category. Since we have only 2 categories, we can put something called as classification here. Classification in this case. Now everyone understood this? Everyone understood this entire thing? Okay. Can I take a quick 2 minutes break? I just want to drink some water. Just a minute. Okay, I'll bring my water bottle and we'll resume. All right. All right. Am I audible? All right. Now try to remember one more thing. Okay. Try to remember one more thing. In the beginning of machine learning wala session, on the first day, we saw one example, right? We saw some example where height, weight, and gender was given to us, right? Height, weight, and gender was given to us. We were supposed to do something like this. We were supposed to do, in future, given any height and weight, I need to predict the gender. This is something that I was trying to solve on that day. Now, do you remember that in this gender, we were having male and female? Yes or no? Yes or no? We were having this data. We were having these 2 categories. And what kind of algorithms I should use here? Again, I should use a supervised learning algorithm, which is a classification algorithm, right? Classification algorithm. Clear to everyone? This is the algorithm I can use. Now, do you remember how we solved this problem? We solved this problem by using this kind of figure, right? We plotted each and every data point. We took each and every data point and we created something called as a scatter plot for this entire data, right? We created scatter plot. Now, do you remember that all the female data points, they were occurring somewhere here, and all the male data points, they were occurring somewhere here, right? I was having only 5 to 6 data points, but try to understand this thing, right? All the female and male data points, right? So blue, let me try to write it. Blue data points are nothing but female, right? Pink data point are nothing but male. Now, can we do something here so that we can classify male and female? I can put a boundary, right? In this two-dimensional world, I can put a boundary which is nothing but a line, right? I can put a boundary which can help me separate positives and negatives. Maybe this boundary is having this direction, right? Maybe this boundary is having this direction, this as the W. No, let's not worry about clustering, Shubham. Let's forget about clustering, okay? Now, do you see that whatever data point is there on the front side of the plane, if I try to maybe somebody, if somebody gives me some data point in future, if somebody gives me some data point value H and W, and if I try to plot that H and W on this graph, on this entire graph, whatever is there, right? So if I try to plot this thing, height is here, W maybe let's say it is here. If I try to plot it, right, it is going to be what? It is going to be considered as a male, because we know that, right, this line knows that everything whatever comes in front of me in the future, it should be a male. Everything that comes on the back side, on this side, it should be a female. Making sense to everyone? Yes or no? Now, didn't we covered all these topics? I think we have already covered all these topics, right? We have covered what is a line, what is the equation of a line, right? The gray colored line that you see in front of you, we know the equation of this line is nothing but it can be written like this, right? W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W0 equal to 0, right? We also know that any point on this entire data, right? Any point, whatever you see in front of you, all the pink and blue points, they are called as a column vector, right? In mathematics, there is a column vector representation for all these points, right? The only thing is we now do not know anything how to solve this problem, but we have studied all the concepts that relate to this entire figure. Are you all able to understand this? Right? Now, let's try to go back a little bit. Let's try to go back to the problem, the project that we need to complete by the end of this entire workshop, entire course, right? This foundational machine learning course. What is the task we need to solve? We need to create a sentiment analyzer. Okay. So what I was saying about column vector was, all these points, it is very easy for us to plot all these points on this graph, right? Because it is very easy, right? You just consider this X as height, you just consider Y as weight. But in mathematics, how do we represent these points? We represent these points using something called as column vector, right? We have also studied that concept. I was just saying that, okay? We have studied that column vector wala concept. We have also studied this line wala concept, right? We know that this is the equation of the line, or we can also write it as W transpose X plus W not equal to 0, right? Or in simple terms, we can directly write it as Y equal to MX plus C. We can write it like anything, right? We want. Now, is it clear to everyone? Now, I have a question for all of you, okay? Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are going to work on a project, right? And that project simply requires some data. The data is nothing but reviews and sentiment, right? So review is a text thing, right? It is a natural language text. It is some English text or Hindi text or Punjabi or Telugu or Chinese or Japanese, anything, right? It can be any text here. Review can be any text here, right? Sentiment can be positive or negative, right? The question is, I can always represent positive and negative by 0 and 1, right? I can always represent positive by 0 or maybe negative by 0, right? And positive by 1, right? Now, when I want to, if I try to convert this entire data, if I try to basically plot this entire data on this XY coordinate, let's say I try to do something like this. Is it really possible to plot the text data on this an entire review, right? It can be a very big review, right? So is it really possible to plot this thing on this axis? No, right? No, it is not possible, right? So what we'll do is tomorrow we'll see how to transform the English language into numbers. Okay, how to, so we'll try to basically convert text data, whatever text data is given to us, to numbers. Okay, if we can numbers, if we can convert the entire text data into numbers, then it can be done. Are you all agreeing to this? Yes, yes. So Deepa will try to convert it to numbers, right? Because mathematics mein we understand numbers, right? Math formula, they understand numbers, not the text data, right? Yeah, we can use any method. We can use any method. Tomorrow I will try to show you some of the methods. Okay. Tomorrow I'll try to show you some of the methods, and all these methods are covered as proper something called as NLP, right? And in NLP, right? NLP basically, see, natural language processing, right? It talks about processing the natural language, right? So what we'll see is in tomorrow's session, we'll see how to process the natural language. Yes, yes. Yes, we'll do that tomorrow. Is my voice not audible? It is, right? Okay. Okay, somebody was not able to hear me. All right. All right. So let's continue. Okay, let's try to first kill this small problem. Okay. Today we'll try to kill a small problem. Tomorrow we'll try to kill a bigger problem. Is that fine? Is that fine? Today we'll try to kill a small problem. Tomorrow we'll try to kill this sentiment analysis wala problem. Okay. Chalo. So let's try to understand one thing here. Okay. Let's try to understand. Let's try to use whatever we learned yesterday and let's try to simply solve the problem today. Okay. Let's solve a problem by just using everything that we have learned yesterday, right? So just try to see it very carefully. Okay. So this forms the basics of all the machine learning, right? All the machine learning basics, everything will be formed by this single concept that I'm going to talk about now. Okay. And yeah, so let's talk about it. Now, when we talk about any classification problem, we have seen that the thing that we need to solve is something called as classification problem, right? We are solving something called as classification problem. So what is the task of classification problem? What is that task that we are trying to solve? What is that task that we are trying to basically come up with? For example, let's say I have some data. Let me give you what I'm trying to mean here. Okay, so let's say I have some data which is containing height, weight, and gender information. So what I can do is I can simply transform this data to basically this XY coordinate, where X means heights, weight is nothing but Y axis, and I can plot this entire data. I can plot this entire data, right? I can plot this entire data like this. Right now try to understand what is my task. My task is to predict the gender, right? Yes or no? Isn't my task to predict the gender for any future data point? And how do I solve this task? How do I solve this task? What I'm trying to find here, I'm trying to find that line which can separate the positives and negatives, that can separate the males and females. Yes or no? Am I trying to find a line? Is it a good line? Is it a good line? Yes or no? You just tell me. See, I'll try to draw some lines here. You tell me which line is a good line. So I have line number 1, I have line number 2, I have line number 3, I have line number 4. Which line do you think is the best line? This one, which one? Yes, third is a good line. Can anyone tell me why third is a good line? Why third is a good line? What is your observation? Why do you think third line is the good line? Because it is separating all the positives towards its one side and all the negatives or females towards its another side. It is able to differentiate properly between male and female. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is the entire task of classification. Okay, so this is the entire task of classification. Let me remove all the other lines. Let me remove all the other lines. Now this is the line that we are trying to find in whenever we solve any classification problem. What we'll do is the data, whatever data is given to me, I will try to simply bring that data on this. I'll try to plot that data on this XY coordinate, right? The data can be humongous, right? There can be hundreds of columns in the data. In case data is humongous, hundreds of columns are there, I won't be able to visualize that data. But in 2 dimension, it is easy to visualize, right? We can visualize 2D, we can visualize 3D, right? But in higher dimension, just try to understand that this is something that we are trying to do in even in the higher dimension, right? We know all the mathematics. We know the mathematics of this line in higher dimension. We know the mathematics of this point in the higher dimension. Everyone agrees to this. Everyone agrees to this, that we know the mathematics now for all the higher dimensional stuff. We just need to see how to do it in smaller dimension, like 2-dimensional, and then maybe later on we can go to any dimension we want. I hope everyone understands this now. Okay, so let me try to draw this entire diagram again. Let me try to draw this entire diagram again. Maybe first of all, let me try to draw the axis here, right? Let me also remove this part. Okay, let's talk about a line which simply passes through the center, which is able to simply separate out positives and negatives. Oh, sorry. This is the time-taking process, me drawing these lines. So let's say this is the direction in which the line is facing. These are all the positive data points, or let me use some other color. Okay, so let's say these are all some data points, right? Some positive data points or something. And I have some negative data points denoted by 2 classes. Okay, one class is positive, one class is negative. I have these data points. Now, do you see that this line is able to perfectly separate positives and negatives? Yes or no? See this? This line is able to perfectly separate positive and negative, right? So what is my task? My task is to, the task is to find a line which can separate one class, one category from another, right? This is the only task, right? We just want to find that line that can separate one category from another category. Everyone is able to understand till this point, yes or no? Cool, perfect. Now let's make some observations now. Okay, let's try to do some magical observation. Just let's look at some magical observations now. Okay, the first observation, can I say that for this point, this is its vector, this is the vector. So I think this is not visible, right? So let me try to use some other color. Maybe let me try to use the white color itself. Can I say that this is the vector for this point? Yes or no? Yes or no? Just see, this is going to really change the entire perspective, your total this perspective of mathematics and machine learning. Okay, just try to understand this thing now. Okay, this is my point, and for this point, this is the vector, right? This white color arrow, right? Now, what is this gray color arrow? This, can I write that this is nothing but W? Yes or no? We have already seen, right? It is nothing but W. right? For every line, every plane, you will have some W, which is going to represent where this W or line is facing, right? Now, tell me one thing. We have studied a concept called as dot product. Dot product. Can I compute, given this line or given this W and given this point P, can't I compute the dot product between W and P? Yes or no? I can compute it, right? So what will be the dot product? Let me try to represent this dot product like this, okay? Length of W vector into length of P vector into length of into cos theta. Into cos theta. Theta is nothing but angle between W and P. This is a wow moment, okay? Just wait for some time, okay? It is a magical moment. Just see, okay? So what is going to happen is, can this quantity, can this element be ever negative? Is it possible to have length in negative? Yes or no? No, right? It is always this quantity, this part is always going to be a positive part. What about this? Is it ever going to be a negative? Is this part going to be negative ever? No, right? No, it is never going to be negative. It is again going to be a positive value always. But what about cos theta W transpose P? What about cos theta? What about the cos of angle, right? So how does cos look like? Cos looks like this, right? The graph for cos theta looks like this, right? So what is this part? This is nothing but 90 degree, right? This is nothing but 180 degree. This is nothing but 270 degree. And this is nothing but 360 degree. Everyone agrees to this? Everyone knows this, right? These are the values, right? Now, do you see that cos theta value is always going to lie between 0 to +1 or 0 to -1, right? -1 to +1 in simple terms. Cos theta value will always lie between these +1 to -1, right? Now, the next thing, what kind of angle do you see? Is this angle greater than 0 and less than 90 degree? Yes or no? What kind of angle do you see? Is it greater than 0 and less than 90? Yes or no? Between W and P, is it greater than 90? Sorry, greater than 0 and less than 90? Yes, right? So what will be the cos theta value? Is it positive or negative? If the value is greater than 0 and less than 90, what is the value? Yes, it is positive. Now, do you observe that this value is always positive? This entire product is always positive for this P point. For P, let me write it. For P, the value of W dot product P is going to be a positive value, right? Which means it belongs to positive class. Let's say all these values belongs to positive class. All these values belongs to negative class, right? Now let's see. Let's talk about another case. Okay, let me remove this part. Let me try to write it in a shorter, smaller font. W dot P equal to length of W into length of P into cos theta, right? Now, when we talk about, let me try to remove this thing, right? Now let's talk about this point. Let's talk about this point, maybe this point, a negative point, okay? The actual label of this point is nothing but negative. Let's see, using mathematics, can I predict whether this point is a negative point or not? How do I do that? Whether this line, let's see whether this line or this W is able to tell whether this point is positive or negative, right? Let's try to see that. What will be the value of length of W? Is it positive or negative? Length of W is always positive, right? What is length of P? Again positive, right? Now, what is this angle? What is this angle? Just try to see this carefully. What is this angle? 90 degree. Isn't it 90 degree? Right? Yes. Is it 90 degree? Yes. Right? But if I try to go towards that, it is greater than 90, but less than, see, this line is going to be less than, so it is going to be 180 degree, right? If it comes to this thing, it is going to be 180 degree, but it is greater than 90 degree, but less than 180 degree. See, greater than 90, but less than 180. So what kind of value will this cos theta have? What is the value of this cos theta? Is it a positive value or a negative value? For this entire part, cos theta value is nothing but negative, right? It is a negative value. See, it is a negative value, right? Cos theta value is negative for all these, this 90 degree to 80 degree wala part, right? Now, do you see that this dot product that we saw yesterday, it is behaving like a classifier, right? It is behaving like a classifier. If I know, if I know how to compute dot product, I can make a classifier. Just by learning this concept of dot product, we are able to make a classifier. If we should know the line, we should know the dot product, we can make a classifier just like that. Isn't it amazing, right? So this is really a wow moment, right? So it is really amazing to understand that this dot product is all that you need, right? Using the dot product, you can create the classifiers, you can create all these things. How p is positive? See this thing, right? So it is a length, it is a length, right? Can height be positive? Or so Samyak, tell me one thing, can height be negative ever? Can height be negative ever? No, right? Similarly, can length be negative? No, right? So length, so this is nothing but the height or length of p, right? P vectors ka length, right? So that's why it is going to be positive value. Similarly, this value is again length, it is again positive. Yes, something like that, Shweta. You can say that these all points are nothing but positive, right? Maybe if you want to take that consideration of male and female, you can consider all these as male, right? Instead of positive, we'll call it male, right? Instead of negative, we can call it female, or the other way around, right? I'm just using positive and negative just to demonstrate that this is happening. Is it making sense now? Okay, yes, Samyak, I can do that. So let's say this is the P first of all, right? So the angle between W and P is going to be C greater than 0 and less than 90, right? When I consider this as P, this is going to be the angle, right? Between W and P, this is going to be the angle if I consider this as a P, right? Yes, Arti. W is always perpendicular. W is something that is only helping us to know whether what is the side of this plane. W helps us to understand where the plane is facing, right? And this W is so powerful that we can simply do a dot product to understand whether the point is on the right hand side or the left hand side of the plane. Is it making sense now? I hope this makes sense to everyone. See, Arti, W is given to us, right? W is something that is given to us. The reason is, see, we will come up with this W, right? We will come up with this W. There is a lot of mathematics that go behind this thing. How do we compute the length of W, right? So let's not go into that. It is a little advanced topic, right? There is something called as optimization theorem. There is something called as optimizations and everything, and that is where we'll learn how to compute this W, right? So that equation, see, I can't basically teach that part because it is a little advanced and it is going to take a lot of time to understand. I think it is going to take at least 2 hours to understand. It needs actual 2-hour lecture to understand how to come up to that equation. And that equation simply tries, so it looks like this. It looks like this. Let me try to show you how the equation looks like. Right? If you basically start learning it, so within 2 hours you will reach here. But next 2 hours is going to make you reach somewhere where the actual equation of this entire thing lies. Yes, Damini, we can measure the angle from both the direction, right? So let's not worry about that. Both the things are going to give you the same answer. If you want to measure the angle from the right hand side, it is also going to give you the same answer. Prithviraj, in that case, your line is going to give you the incorrect result, right? So in machine learning, you can't always get the 100% accuracy, right? You can't any, so always see, getting 100% accuracy is not possible, because in real world the data will be like mess, right? So it will look like this, right? So if you have some positive data points and some negative data points, right, it will be all mixed up. It will be all mixed up. This is how the positive, this is how the real world data looks like, right? Because of this data, even if you get this line, if you say that this is my best possible line, you see that these are all the misclassified points, right? Again, these are all the misclassified points. So misclassifications and all these things will actually happen, right? All these things will actually happen. Okay, so there is a very good question from Avanish. Avanish is asking that is human accuracy better than machine or vice versa? Is machine's accuracy better than human? So what happens is in image data set, in image data set, in video data set, in NLP, natural language processing data set, most of the time it is seen that machines accuracy, it beats human accuracy by small margin, but it is able to do that, right? Machines accuracy is able to beat human accuracy right now, right? Humans accuracy in these kind of data sets like image, video, NLP data sets, right? So this is the reason why deep learning is picking up so much, right? You might have heard of so many articles on deep learning, right? So this is the only reason why deep learning is picking up so much. Okay, deep learning is actually able to beat human performance, human level performance on many of the cases, in many of the cases. Even when we try to detect cancer, like skin cancer and other things, right? Just by using your smartphone you can do that. So I was saying, Aarti, that on image data, or on video data, or on natural language, or text data, right? Text data, most of the time machine learning algorithms are able to beat human level performance, human level accuracy is, machine learning is able to beat that, right? So that's why it is picking up so much, right? Yes, CCTV footage, you can do all sort of things. Yes, why not? Yes, so we'll do that. See, let's say we have some, maybe let's say that this is the line and the data is spread it out like this. Data can be anywhere, right? Data can be anywhere, and this is the data. Let's say all the grayish dots are nothing but, maybe let's call them as negative, all the bluish dot are nothing but positive data points, right? So what you can do is, let's say that this is the side where the plane is facing, this is the side, or let me draw it with a white line, right? This is the side where the plane is facing. Now what you can do is, you can actually tell whether this point is on this side of the plane using just dot product. Using just dot product, you can tell where this point is lying, right? Where the point is lying, you can just tell that using the dot product. How? See, if this is the point, so let me try to use some other color, maybe blue color here, right? So let's say this is the point, right? So what you can do is, you can simply do one thing, a very simple thing. You can simply calculate the dot product between W and point P. Whatever point you have, just try to take a dot product between point P and W. How do you calculate it? You calculate the length of P, length of W, and the dot and the cos theta between P and W, right? Which is going to give you whether the point is lying on the positive side of the plane or negative side of the plane. You can just know that just by taking the dot product. Just by taking the dot product, you can do all that, right? How do you do that? Always the length is going to be a positive value, right? Again, this is again a length which is always a positive value. But what about this cos theta, right? What about this cos theta? In order to understand that, I showed you this cos theta wala graph, right? So where this part is positive one and this part is negative one, right? And this part is 0, right? This part is 90°, this part is 180, this part is 270, right? And this part is 360, right? So if you try to see the angle between this W and P, right, it is greater than 90, sorry, it is greater than 0 but less than 90, right? So this region, right, this region, so this entire region belongs to positive region, right? It is going to be a positive value, right? It is going to be a positive value. You can say that since the output is nothing but some positive value here, this point lies on the positive side of the plane. Making sense now? Similarly, you can also look into the angle from this perspective. Okay, so you can also look at the angle from this perspective. Can anyone comment on what kind of angle is it? Can anyone comment on what kind of angle do you see here? See, this is a 90-degree angle, right? This is the 90-degree angle, right? So this is going to be 180, right? This is going to be 180, right? So where is going to be, so this is going to be 180 plus 90 is going to be 270. This angle is greater than 270 and less than 360, right? It is greater than 270 and less than 360, correct, Shweta, right? So what is the kind of value? You see, it is again a positive value, right? It is again a positive value, right? You can come from any direction. It doesn't matter. It is going to give you the correct, it is going to give you the place where this point is actually lying on the, whether it is going to lie on the positive side or the negative side of the plane. Is it making sense, Aarti? This is a little difficult concept to understand from a beginner point of view, but try to maybe revise this lecture. You will be able to understand it thoroughly. Okay. Yes, correct, correct, Aarti. We can do that. We can directly compute the angle. That's it. Correct. Right. Yes, that is a very good point, Aarti. We don't even need to calculate these two things. You can directly calculate the cos theta. Yes, you can do that. Definitely, you can do that. Okay. Perfect. Now, any doubts, any queries? So this is how actually, see, we are doing this. We are not even, see, we are not even now doing the dot product. We can only do this cos theta. We can only compute this angle of, and the theta, the cos of that angle, and we can find where the point is lying, whether the point is lying on the positive side or the negative side. Right now, given any future data point, let's say somebody is telling me that this is the height and this is the weight. So the point is going to lie here, right? If the point is going to lie here, I can directly tell them whether they are male or female, right? Because this point is lying on the positive side, I will say that maybe let's say they are male, right? If somebody tells me that their height and weight are something and that point lies here, I can tell them directly that they are female. How many are able to understand this? I just need to calculate the dot product. That's it. So dot product is nothing but your, it works very similar to what we have, what we call as logistic regression. Logistic regression, right? I can actually derive the entire logistic regression formulation just by using this dot product concept. Okay, but that is a little mathematical heavy concept and a little advanced. So let's not go into that. Okay, is that fine? Is that fine with everyone? Yes or no? Cool. Now tomorrow what we'll do is we have this data now, right? We'll look into one data set which is having some reviews or something, some text, right? And then we are going to basically look at sentiment, right? Which is nothing but positive and negative sentiment. And what we'll do is we'll try to maybe transform this entire text data to numbers, right? And then what we can do is we can create a line that can separate them into positive and negative sentiments. This is what we are going to do tomorrow, right? The only thing you have to learn now is how to convert this text data to numerical data, right? This comes under NLP. Okay. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Thank you so much, Shubham. Cool. Shubham, I think you were asking yesterday about how can we do all these things, machine learning, just by learning something called as a vector algebra, right? I think you were the guy who were asking that, right? So do you now agree that we don't need anything else, right? We just need a dot product and we can do that. Yes, yes, I think you too, right? Just by using dot product, you can do that, nothing else. Cool. Perfect. So if you have any doubts, any queries, just ping me on my LinkedIn or maybe on Discord, right? I hope you all have joined Discord, right? So Sandeep, no, I don't think it will be possible. So it actually takes a so it actually takes a lot of time to basically arrange all these things. So next week I will be busy in some other stuff, right? So it will be very difficult for me to extend the sessions. Okay. Okay. So maybe so I'll try to come up with another program if that works perfectly for you. Maybe I'll try to come up with some other foundational course maybe on some other thing, right? So that you all can take part in that and you can learn something new. Okay, maybe on top of whatever we have learned already, we can do that. Yes, I'll do that, Aarti. I'll do that definitely. So where what? Yes, correct, Shweta. Without even naming the algorithm, we did it, right? So I think so have you joined the Discord channel? Okay, just try to join the Discord channel. So that is the point. That is the place where I'll be connecting with all of you. Okay. Yes, Ashwini will try to provide those courses as well. So next week onwards, I'll start working on these courses. Okay. So from the next week onwards, I'll try working on these courses so that we will have something to offer all of you, right? But trust me, the everything is going to be like amazing on these on with us, right? All right.